In response to the SEC's supplemental authority letter, Ripple has sent a response. Also, with Ripple Liquidity Hub, can businesses immediately gain access to crypto and blockchain's potential real-world value creation? Furthermore, can 1,500 transactions be processed each second on the XRP ledger? Finally, attorney Jeremy Hogan has brought up an additional argument in support of a summary judgment in Ripple's favor. The question is, however, whether or not those factors are enough to give Ripple the victory. To find out the rest, read on to the conclusion. Watch this brand new video right now if this is something that interests you. We'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our channel, where we discuss recent developments in the XRP ecosystem and the wider cryptocurrency industry. In response to the SEC's objection to Ripple's fair notice defense, the blockchain industry leader has issued a statement. Yesterday, seasoned American defense attorney James K. Phelan released Ripple's response to the SEC's recent supplemental authority letter. Remember that the SEC wrote that its ruling with Commonwealth Equity Service gives it even more justification to go against Ripple's fair notice defense. To this, Ripple pointed out that the defendant in the Commonwealth case had offered no proof that market participants lacked fair notice requiring them to disclose economic conflict of interest, a notion to which the defendant had adamantly objected. Instead, Commonwealth relied on SEC guidance and introduced testimony from an expert who claimed that some disclosures were not required by SEC. According to Ripple, the SEC's fair notice is invalid because of the Commonwealth case. Defense evidence is distinct from that which is already present in a pending lawsuit. Here, on the other hand, there is a mountain of evidence, including copious factual evidence from the SEC's own files and its communication with third parties, showing that reasonable market participants trying to understand what the SEC would permit or prohibit concluded that the defendant's offers and sales of XRP were not investment contracts and informed the SEC as much. Ripple claims that the SEC knew about the regulatory ambiguity in the crypto field, and that there is enough of evidence to back this up. The blockchain firm also asserted that the data demonstrates the SEC contributed to this regulatory confusion by consistently issuing ambiguous guidelines that diverged from the Howey test. Ripple further contended that the SEC's claim that the Commonwealth case continues a line of district court judgments rejecting fair notice defenses on summary judgment in its enforcement cases is irrelevant. Peripheral, the court has already ruled that the regulator cannot utilize these examples to support its move for summary judgment since they do not address the evidence the regulator relies on. Upton, the closest case, is a binding precedent and decided in favor of the defendant's fair notice defense, but the SEC does not include it on its list because it is an appellate decision. It concluded that the court should follow suit and that the Commonwealth made no difference in the matter. The response Ripple provided to the SEC bolsters the company's fair notice argument. On March 4th, Ripple bolstered its fair notice defense by filing a supporting letter. The defendants pointed to the Supreme Court's recent decision in Bittner v. U.S., in which two of the court's justices wrote that the rule of lenity was an important factor in their decision. When in doubt, the court must err on the side of the defendants in accordance with the norm of lenity. The SEC countered Ripple's claim by pointing out that the two justices' reliance on the concept of lenity is irrelevant to the defendants' defense of fair notice. In the meantime, crypto enthusiasts are waiting for the summary judgment that attorney John Deaton says might come at any time. Attorney Deaton claims that the timeline for a summary judgment in Ripple v. SEC shortens daily. The decision might come as early as May 6th. Apparently, it's possible that this is the last argument that Ripple's legal team makes before Judge Torres issues a ruling. Be sure to hit the bell notification and subscribe to our channel to be among the first to know about any breaking news on XRP Ripple. The leading fintech company behind XRP has introduced a new solution specifically for enterprises called Liquidity Hub Solution. This innovative service connects companies with digital asset liquidity from leading global exchanges, market makers, and OTC desks. After a successful trial program in 2017, Ripple has officially announced the release. The Liquidity Hub is an all-inclusive, unified system designed to help businesses find and control their liquidity needs across many channels. This service provides companies with access to liquidity without requiring them to keep large amounts of capital on hand by using cutting-edge technology to determine the most favorable exchange rates for digital assets. This frees up capital and makes it easier for companies to put their resources to good use. With Ripple's new service, businesses have access to a vast global network of payout channels, streamlining processes like digital currency transaction management and accounting. The service is accessible at any time. The success of Liquidity Hub depends on its capacity to work with other platforms and its access to large pools of liquidity for a wide variety of asset pairs. Treasury management is an area where firms can save money by taking advantage of the greatest rates and liquidity from a variety of sources. The Ripple Liquidity Hub was developed to address the challenges that arise throughout the process of integrating digital and fiat currencies. A streamlined interface and straightforward integration with other systems mean that firms may manage and obtain liquidity with minimal effort. According to the latest statement, besides Bitcoin and Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin are also accepted on the platform, but XRP is not mentioned directly. Members of the XRP group. The Liquidity Hub, as revealed by Ripple, is capable of functioning both independently and as an integral part of the company's cross-border payment system. This was brought to light by Randolph Coleman, a well-known member of the XRP community. One more participant in the XRP community remarked, "I was hoping for a clearer link to XRP, but found none." XRP is not mentioned at all, either in a general sense or in a technical one. Given that Ripple no longer explicitly acknowledges XRP outside of the context of HODL crypto, one may can only speculate as to why. He also noted that XRP was noticeably missing. As observed by Randolph Coleman, Ripple has specifically stated that this product does not use XRP. He said that he had assumed it would be linked to Ripple's HODL solution, but it is still unclear whether or not it will make use of RippleNet due to the lack of clarity surrounding the matter. It's worth noting that Ripple stated back in November 2021 that XRP will be one of 6 supported assets at launch for the Liquidity Hub. Nonetheless, the firm did say that businesses' asset availability will vary by region, and that more assets would be added to the platform in the future. Also, Ripple CTO David Schwartz recently shot down speculation that the XRP ledger is insecure. Up to 15 transactions can be processed in a second with XRP right now. In response to questions from the XRP community, Schwartz offered the following comments. Recently, Schwartz turned to Twitter to debunk 10 myths about XRP and the XRP ledger that are commonly believed but not true. As an example, it has been stated that XRP can handle up to 15 transactions per second. These assertions were brought to light by an unknown community member. For those who are unfamiliar, TPS is a measure of how many transactions can be completed by a blockchain network in 1 second. The consensus algorithm, block size, network latency, and transaction complexity all play a role in determining a blockchain network's TPS. Since its inception in 2012, the live XRP ledger has never reached speeds of up to 15 TPS, as stated by Schwartz. A live blockchain network, he admitted, could handle as many as 300–500 transactions per second with the current architecture. Between 3 and 7 transactions are processed every second in the Bitcoin network. One member of the XRP community traced the roots of the commonly held belief to a credible article on the Ripple website. In particular, Ripple's XRP page asserts categorically that the cryptocurrency is capable of processing 1,500 transactions per second 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Schwartz responded by elaborating on the untruthfulness of the claim that XRP reliably processes 1,500 TPS 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Since the live network's XRP transactions per second TPS rate is currently below 1,500 at now. He has since informed the proper department that the statement was badly phrased and will have it revised. David Schwartz also addressed 9 other untruths about the XRP that have just been debunked. Among other things, he clarified that the XRP ledger requires connectivity to the network to operate. He also reaffirmed that no CBDCs digital currencies issued by central banks are currently in circulation on XRPL. In addition, Schwartz mentioned that the banks and financial institutions that make up RippleNet, Ripple's global payment network, do not utilize the on-demand liquidity solution. Here we are at today's big question. Is it possible for Ripple to win based on Jeremy Hogan's present arguments? If you want to be among the first to know about any new XRP-related developments, make sure you subscribe to our channel and enable notifications. Hogan and Hogan partner and XRP advocate attorney Jeremy Hogan has brought attention to the second reason why Ripple did not list the sixth largest cryptocurrency as a security. Judge Annalisa Torres has already provided a hint as to how she may rule that Ripple did not market XRP as a security, as pointed out by attorney Hogan in a Twitter thread published today. Hogan claims that Judge Torres simplified the Howey test into three parts: 1. A monetary investment, 2. Participation in a business venture with other people, and 3. The expectation of financial gain from the efforts of people other than oneself. Hogan, adopting Judge Torres's interpretation of the Howey test, stated that buyers of XRP must have relied primarily on the efforts of others in order to satisfy the third prong of the test. The pro-XRP lawyer is intrigued by the Howey test's third prong despite the fact that some judgments have eliminated the single criterion. Hogan pointed out that the SEC's investigation into whether more non-XRP investors were dependent on Ripple for profits was cut short. The expert witness the SEC recruited to testify to this effect was disregarded by the judge. Hogan said when the first CCS expert's testimony was thrown out. When it came time for testimony about the Howey test's third prong, the agency's third expert was the only one available. Ripple failed in its attempt to have Judge Torres throw out testimony from the SEC's third expert. The SEC's three experts all agreed that Ripple has been manipulating the price of XRP behind the scenes. Whether or not XRP buyers were aware of the expert's price manipulation was not addressed. The expert claims that Ripple's activities were conducted in secrecy so that the public would be unaware of them until they could establish a causal link between Ripple's actions and the company's stated goals. Hogan argued that the testimony couldn't be considered evidence. The outspoken legal expert does not think the report meets the requirements of the Howey test's third prong. According to him, this means the SEC only has Ripple's cacophony remarks to use in proving the third prong of Howey. Snap decision motion. The agency pointed to Ripple's advertising of XRP as an investment contract as evidence. Some examples include the 2014 investor brochure and tweets from Ripple chairman Chris Larsen, both of which discuss the company's plans to retain 50% of the XRP supply in order to develop apps and market Ripple. The authority further said that Ripple called attention to XRP price spikes by calling it Ripple mania. Hogan maintains that the claims presented here do not adequate to establish the third pillar. Meanwhile, Ripple has supplied proof that XRP is not a security despite the SEC's claims, but rather a currency and an asset. Attorney John Deaton filed an amicus curiae brief on behalf of the community on behalf of thousands of XRP holders to challenge the statement obtained by the SEC from 6 XRP holders, according to Hogan. He noted that, according to his research, one of the SEC's experts has admitted that Ripple has had zero effect on XRP price swings in 2018. According to Hogan, the lawsuit's evidence overwhelmingly demonstrates that XRP investors did not rely on Ripple's attempts to achieve gains. After reviewing the material, he came to the conclusion that the SEC failed to meet the third requirement of the Howey test. Hogan argues that this research is another evidence that Ripple should prevail in court. One of Hogan and Hogan's partners recently brought up the first of several reasons why Ripple should prevail. He said the SEC had not provided evidence of the investment contract in the Ripple case. In order to aid the clerk who is assisting Judge Torres with writing the summary judgment, Hogan has conducted a legal study of the case. His thanks were directed towards the reader in particular, you awesome law clerk. This video has already concluded. You guys should like the video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and enable notifications. See you in the next video, bye.